Now, after a chaotic start to the new academic year in Gauteng, with many children still yet to be placed in schools, will this week once again see parents queuing at district offices and schools, or will the Gauteng Education Department finally get its act together and place every single child in need? Well, senior reporter Aviwe Mtila is out tracking that very story. And are you able to answer that question for us, Aviwe Mtila? Very good morning to you. Will every single child that missed out on the first week of school last week start the week in school from tomorrow?
Well, the promise from the MEC of Education in the province was that by the end of January, every single one of those 1,394 learners that we heard of in the beginning of last week that hadn't had placement as yet will be placed in schools. The schools are filled to capacity, the MEC told us, and they left with two options. It's either they have overcrowded schools or learners stay at home. And, of course, they're going to push to fill those schools to capacity. In fact, let's get an update now from the spokesperson of the department, Steve Mabona. Steve, thank you for joining us at ENCA. We heard 1,394 was the number of learners that weren't placed at the beginning of last week. What's the latest update?
Thanks very much. The latest is that we have now 571 unplaced learners, both grade 1 and 8. The majority number is on grade 8 learners. We have committed that we're going to be, like for instance, in the Kempton Park area, convert your specialist rooms to be utilized for teaching. And that's why the numbers is reduced, because we had to place there. In Olifantsfontein, where we were pressured as well, we facilitated the process of them getting more mobile units, which will be placing them at the school. Because our initial plan was to place those mobiles in a different location, but that could not work for us. So we have decided that we'll put them at the school. So we're going to place there as well the remainder. In Tshwane West, there's 2 satellite schools in Teresa Park, primary, that is primary 2, and then the Teresa Park secondary, that will be now a new school altogether, which will grow, as we go, but probably will then have a new school that we will have to build in that area. So we will be placing in Johannesburg West. There's a new satellite that we are facilitating in Florida. That's where we were pressured. It will then accommodate the remainder. So we are working tirelessly. Our officials have been working throughout the weekend. Probably Monday, Tuesday, we will have a different picture. But for the Tanimalan issue, we continue to engage the school. We have a meeting actually tomorrow just to check on what is it that we can do in terms of maybe, introducing another class there. But if that fails, then probably in future we'll see on how we're going to be managing that.
Okay, so with those 571 grade 1 and 8 learners that are yet to be placed, we most likely going to see those snaking queues once more. But it doesn't compromise of them only. There are also those other grades from grade 2 to 7, 9 to matric that also form part of the queues. What are you doing about them and placing them at the schools?
No, thanks very much. Those we will want to appeal to parents to not to go to our districts for now, because we are, trying to check, on who came back, our schools, who, did not. So we are verifying the figures. So it will be ideal for them to come from the 24th of January. That's when we will be in a position to then assist them. So for now, they need to be patient a bit.
Okay, be patient. Thank you very much, Steve Mabona, the spokesperson of the Education Department, pleading with those inner grades to be patient as they're still trying to verify who has come back to the schools and who has not. But you heard it, colleague, there's no avoiding those queues that we saw last week, as there's still 571 grade 1 and 8 learners that need to be placed.
Very much for that update. That is senior reporter Aviwe Mtila tracking that story. Unfortunately, parents are going to have to be queuing over the next couple of days as the Gauteng Department of Education tries to make things right with the learners.